Greetings, y'all, and welcome. This is Coach Veronica Marie. Why did I say it like that? I don't know. I'm Coach Veronica Marie, and if you don't know me, I am a fitness coach, a nutrition coach, and an emotional wellness coach. I also offer spiritual services like reading and dream interpretations and things like that. And I really delight in helping people live a healthy and a happy life. As I do the same within myself, I am very much a teacher and a leader, an influencer, a thought leader in the health and wellness community. And it is my pleasure to be that. So I just started these new classes every Monday in June, maybe also July, we'll see, called Soulful Communication. And I started these because I realized that most people have trouble with effective communication. Even if they feel they communicate well, there's still levels to it. And I spend a great deal of my days helping people through communication and thinking of more effective ways. And so I thought to myself, hey, it would be a good time to help some people come out of anxiety concerning communication. I know some people don't say what they really mean out of fear of loss of connection or being seen a certain way. Some people genuinely want to connect with others, but they really don't know how. They don't know how to connect to the soul and the human heart. And I'd like to just offer some assistance there. So we're going to meet every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via Zoom. But today, since it's a holiday, I figured I'd kick it off just with this live to help you understand what we will be doing and why it's important. When you want to be close to other people, connecting well with the soul is essential. And I find that most people don't know how to do that. They connect because they had similar experiences. They connect because they have some knowledge or skill, some commonality. But when more depth is necessary, I find that people need assistance. In the area of conflict resolution as well, most people are fussing and at odds about things that really are not the root of what they need to be working on or talking about. So I want to help you see the root of issues so that within your relationships, you can stop unnecessary fighting, power struggles, and um, all kind of things. You know what happens in relationships. So we can stop some of that and really begin to cultivate deep and meaningful connections. This could be romantic, this could be with children, friends, on the job, wherever, you name it, it's important. And so right now I'm just having a casual conversation with you about my thoughts where communication is concerned. I noticed that we place such a premium on knowledge that when a person doesn't have knowledge, they are at a loss of how to connect. We place a premium on I know how that feels. We place a premium on yes, I experienced that too. And that's helpful in a lot of regards, but it also is a hindrance in two ways. Number one, it limits you to being able to connect with people only via what you have experienced and knowledge about. So that means all the things you haven't experienced and don't have knowledge about, you have trouble connecting, right? The other part is, even though it's really good to empathize, when you are in a hurry to say, me too, I know how that feels, I know how you feel, you miss something. You miss the opportunity to get into the other person's mind, you cut that off by saying, yes, I know how you feel. Yes, I understand. The truth is, you understand it from your point of view, but it's necessary to get inside of their brain and understand it from their point of view. That's where the soul connection happens. You don't connect simply because you had a common experience. You connect not only because you had the common experience, but because you understand human dynamics. And that's really the level I want to go into. I don't want to give you anything surface level because you can find surface level everywhere. I want to help you see the things you don't see already and hear the things you don't hear already so that you can have experiences that you haven't had already. I hope that makes sense. And so today, again, this is a casual conversation, but the topic is trauma bonding. Okay. And I don't think trauma bonding is all a bad thing. So don't hear that. A lot of times, beautiful connections come out of connecting through a common experience of trauma. But a lot of times, people are so used to trauma bonding that other types of bonding are impossible because if they're not connecting with someone's pain, they don't know what else to connect with, you know, and that is how people connect through gossiping, complaining, um, and also toxic positivity. You're so used to being the positive one, right? So you want to tell everybody what they should think and should feel. None of that is connecting on a deep level because what happens when the trauma is gone, when the trauma is no longer there? What happens when you meet individuals who are not trauma based? Then what? What happens when you have this very beautiful soul in front of you who is not demonstrating a need for healing or advice or suggestion or knowledge? How do you connect then? You begin to experience some difficulty. And because you cannot connect, you may not be able to hold the bond with that person. And you'll go back into your natural pattern of trauma bonding. It feels familiar. It feels like something you're fluent in, and you are unable to expand your social circle, right? So connecting through pain is valuable. Again, I want to stress that. But connecting through the human soul is even more valuable. A lot of times we are in a hurry to connect with their trauma that we don't ask relevant questions. And so I want to give you some tools that you can begin practicing today. If you are a person who experiences others sharing their stories, um, pouring out things that they never told anyone, this is for you. I used to be that person. I used to be a person that would have hours long conversations with people in the store. Just random strangers would come up and start talking, and I would be caught up for a significant amount of time, just listening to their stories, but also not connecting. So the first thing I always say to people, especially people who identify as empaths, this is so important. Stop absorbing other people's stuff. Absorbing is not connection. Absorbing happens when you hear something in someone else's experience, it touches your own pain, your pain gets activated, and you begin to project how they must feel, how they must be experiencing it, because you know how it feels to experience that. Then they leave feeling lighter or like they've been supported and helped, but you are left with the emotional backlog of not only what they are saying, but what it activated in you as well. So then you need to put that somewhere. So you call someone else and you tell them everything that happened, and then they absorb it, right? Or maybe they don't absorb it, maybe they deflect it and you get stuck with it. Either way, see how this connection is not serving your highest good, this absorption, rather. So you're going to have to learn how to stop absorbing other people's stuff. That's now, when I say stop absorbing, that doesn't mean detach and dissociate. These are two different things, right? And I want to stop you before you go too far, because people begin to go, you know what? I'm not worrying about nobody else. I'm not worrying about nobody else but me, and on a deep level, they have to fight other people's words and experiences from altering how they feel, because they're still absorbing, even though they are trying to detach, right? So, through this soulful communications, it is my desire to help you stop absorbing and understand what the points, the central points of your pain activation look like, so that you can actually resolve it within yourself, and then have some conversations with others that involve sharing their experience without you having to get in their experience. It is very possible to know that people are having a hard time and not feel the hard time with them. Now, some people like feeling the hard time with them, and that's okay. This talk just isn't for you. There is a way to know what people are experiencing, empathize with them, but not bring that into your experience. There's also a way to heal within it. So the second part is what I want to talk about. When you have found that you are absorbing, meaning taking on the pain of another person because you relate, when you found that you're doing that, one of the things you can ask yourself is, what is this showing me about my own need for healing? Where do I need to heal? What in my past is still unclear to me? What former selves are still existing inside of me in some type of pain? What kind of truth do they need? And if you've been following me for any amount of time, when I use the word truth, I'm talking about universal truth, not perspective truth or relative truth. I'm talking about universal truth. What kind of universal truth is needed? A lot of times when you have a former self connecting with other people's pain, you have some questions that are unanswered. That self is still trying to understand, like, how does this work? Or what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to get from it? That self is inside with a lot of questions, right? And so every time that self can come into your awareness through someone else's story, it will, because that self is saying to you, I need you to look at me. But instead, you're looking so intensely on the other people's story that you can't look within, because you think you're feeling their pain. But I'm telling you, you're really feeling your own activated pain. Most people walk away from these type of scenarios just really pining away over someone else's feelings and what they must be experiencing, sacrificing and giving of themselves to try to help the person feel better. And it really leads to a situation where there is this incessant giving. I have to give my time. I have to give my ear to help people because people are hurting, right? And people indeed are hurting and they do need help, but they need help, right? From a wisdom perspective, from a universal truth perspective. But most of all, they need real connection. And I'm not talking about connection because you spoke with them on the phone, or a connection because they feel you're a good person. You can touch the human soul without saying much. And that is connection. And that's the level that I want to get on in these soulful communication sessions. So remember to stop absorbing, right? By recognizing I am not feeling their pain. I am connecting with their pain through my own pain. This is telling me that there are some unresolved selves in there in these relative areas. And I'm going to take some time to look into what questions need to be answered by those previous selves so that I can feel resolved. And therefore, when people begin to talk to me about similar places, I'm not in a hurry to resonate. I'm not in a hurry to tell them that I understand. I'm not in a hurry to absorb, but rather I operate in healthy ways. And most of all, I touch their soul. And you can touch a person's soul without being there for hours, without feeling their pain, without letting them know that you feel it too. You can do that, right? Now, some people, again, enjoy doing that. This talk is not going to be for you. This talk is for people who are really wanting to understand what is going on and wanting to connect with humans in deeper, more meaningful ways. So that's it, just a casual talk. I hope that something I said inspired you to sign up for Soulful Communications. You can sign up on any of my profiles, which are located on social media, TikTok. My name there is veronicamarie.com, DOTCOM. It's also on Instagram. And you can send me an email at veronicamarie@mail.com if you want that link. I think I set it for like $10. So you can pay by PayPal, Venmo, either of those, or Zelle, any of those work. And if you want to set up coaching sessions, you can go to my website, veronicamarie.com, and sign up there. And that's it for the day. I hope to see you next Monday on Zoom. Cameras are optional, so you don't have to be on camera, but I would love for you to